Okay, Year 7, this is our first tutorial where we're going to learn how to use SketchUp for schools. In this tutorial we're going to start creating our phone safe. Okay, so there's a couple of ways you can get into SketchUp for schools. This is my G Suite for Education page, and down the bottom here you'll see SketchUp for schools down here. Now if you don't see it there, the other way you can access it is to go to your Google Drive, and then up here you've got your Google Apps waffle, and you can left click on that, and down the bottom of that you'll have SketchUp for schools. If it's not there, you can get it from the G Suite Marketplace. Okay, so you'll get to a screen like this. If you have any other, you've been here before, there'll be some files here. But in your case, we're going to create a new file. So we go over here, left click, and then select Simple Template in millimeters. And here we are. Okay, so in SketchUp for schools, you've got a couple of menus down both sides. You've got some down here, which these are the ones we're going to use mostly today, and we've got some other ones over here as well. Now we don't need this guy, he's there for scale, so I'm just going to left click on him and then press delete, and off he goes. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to move around and change our view slightly. Now to do that, you've got the orbit tool over here, or there is also the keyboard shortcut, the letter O. So if I just type the letter O, you'll see the orbit tool comes up. Now if I left click and then move my mouse, I can change my view. Now what I want to do is I want to get a view like this, but I'm just going to pan. So this is my pan tool. Just going to move everything across, so I've kind of got this view here. So try to make yours similar. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the side parts for our phone safe. So to do that, I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I've got my rectangle tool here. And if it's not there, you can see these little arrows here where you can click on and you can find features underneath this main menu item. Okay, so the other thing with a rectangle is we've got a keyboard shortcut, which is the letter R. So I'm going to click down here in the origin, and I'm going to drag out, and I want you to do the same. Drag it out so that the lines are blue. Then you release and just type the numbers 200, 12. There we go. Now you'll probably go, hang on, that just disappeared. What happened there? But it's just very small. So we go down here and we're going to click on this little arrow, and we're going to go to our zoom extents button, which is this one here. And there we go. It zoomed us right back into our rectangle there. Now just pan down. So again, if you don't have your pan tool, you can just select it down here. And I'm going to orbit around, just so I've got a little bit more of a side-on view. So I can pan across. And then I can also, if you've got a center mouse wheel, you can roll it to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is use my push-pull tool, which is this one here, or the keyboard shortcut is the letter P. And I'm going to give this its third dimension. So I'll come in close so you can see. So if you hover over that, you can see these blue dots appear. So I'm going to left click, go up, and then I'm just going to type the number 70. Press enter. That's a little bit close, so I'm just going to zoom back out a little bit. Okay. So again, I just want to orbit round to the other side of this, because the next thing we're going to do with this is we're going to put onto it the housing for the lid. Okay, so the next tool we're going to use is the tape measure, which is this one here, and again the keyboard shortcut is the letter T. I'm going to click on this edge here, and then I'm going to go down. So I want to make sure that my line is blue. Okay, I'll demonstrate what can happen if you go in the wrong direction. So if I go over this way, see how the line goes green? No, I want it to be going down that face, so the line has to be blue. I'm then going to type the number 5 and press enter. There's my line, or my guide. Now I'll go in a little bit so you can see a bit better. I'm going to then left click on that line, and again I'm going to go down so my line is blue, and I'm going to type the number 3 and go enter, and there's a second line there. Okay, now quite simply I'm just going to draw another rectangle, so I can use my rectangle tool, or keyboard shortcut is R, and I'm going to go, I'll zoom in so you can see, zoom right in here. I'm going to go, oops, that's too far. I'm going to go from there, then I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to go, and again I'll zoom in to there. So I'm going from the top line at one end to bottom line at the other end. Click, there I've got my rectangle. Again I'm going to use my push-pull tool, so it's here, or I can use my P is my shortcut. I'm going to left click on there and then move it in that direction, and then just type the number 5 and enter. So I've made my housing 5mm deep. Okay, there we go. That is one side done. Now there's one more thing we need to do to it, and this is a very important step. We'll go back to the select tool here, and I'm going to select this entire piece. So there's two ways I can do it. I can do a marquee selection, which is drag from top left to bottom right, and you'll see that it gets blue lines all around it with blue dots all over it. The other way you can do it is a triple left click, very fast triple left click, and that will select all of it as well. So here we go. So that's done the same thing. Then I'm going to right click, make component, and I'm going to call it side. Now this is a really important step, because if I don't do that, any other piece that I create, like when I create the end pieces, if this is not a component, any other piece that I create will permanently stick to it like it's chewing gum, and it can cause us some problems. Now these guidelines we don't need anymore, so we can get rid of them a few ways. I can left click on it until it's blue, and then I can just press delete. So I can do it that way. Or the other way I can do it is if I go up here to my search feature, I can just start typing in the word delete, and you'll see delete guides comes up. So that gets rid of the guides. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to make an end. So again, I'll go back to my rectangle tool here, or keyboard shortcut R. I'll come in a little bit closer so you can see a little bit better. So I'm going to click on that corner there, then I'm going to go down over here, and I'm going to just type 70, 12, enter. Then I'm going to use my push-pull tool. So click on there, across, and then I'm just going to type the number 90, press enter. Better zoom back out again. Again, I'll just orbit around now so I can see the inside there. All right, and then again, I've got to put my housing in here as well. So there's a couple of ways I can do it, but again, I'm just going to use my tape measure tool again. So T, up here, come down. Now I can either type in 5, or what I can do, if I go over here, it actually locks on that point there, as long as my line here is blue. Okay, so left click, then I can go again, left click there, and we can go down 3. So we can either go down like that and type 3, or I can just go over there, but I've got just got to make sure my line is blue. There's our second one. And again, R for rectangle, from there to there. Now, if you want to be sure on something, you can always zoom right in close to make sure you're definitely getting on the intersection. That's good. And then push-pull. So we've got our push-pull, or letter P. Just get a better view. Hover, go in, and again, just type the number 5. So we've got our 5mm deep housing. Then again, what we need to do is we need to triple click on this, or do what we call the marquee selection. We've got to make sure our box is over all of it. Then right click, make component, and we're going to call it end. Okay. All right, I'm going to go back to Zoom Extents. There we go. Now, rather than draw the side again, we can just duplicate this one. So I'll select it and then go Control C, Control V, and there it is. But can you see a problem? We've got the housing on the wrong side. Again, that can be easily solved. So I just left click so it just stayed there. I'm then going to right click on it, and you'll see down here flip along, and we're going to flip it along the components green. There you go. You can now see the housing in the correct spot. Now, to move it, get it in exactly the right spot, I'm going to orbit around again, and I'm going to have a look at it from this end. Whenever we move something, we don't just grab it. So move, the keyboard shortcut is M, or it's this tool here. We don't just grab it anywhere and try to get in the right position. What we do is I'm going to come in close and I'm going to show you. We select a known spot and we attach it to a known spot. Now I know that that corner there needs to join up with that corner there. So left click, move, left click. There it is. It's in the perfect location now. Again, I'm going to orbit around so I can, that's a little bit close in. So if you sometimes get lost like that, you can go back to your Zoom Extents button like that. Now I can orbit around. And I'm just going to zoom back out a little bit. Okay, so we need to do the end like we did the side. So again, what I can do, select it, Control C, Control V. There's another end. I'm just going to put it over here for a bit. So firstly, well, we've kind of got to flip it, but actually we've got a problem with the end here because we need to cut. Remember how on our job in the workshop, we actually had to cut this top bit off so we had some space to slide the lid in. So we're going to do something similar here, but I'm going to show you a problem first. So we've got it selected, and if you click out here and it gets deselected, all you got to do is left click on it so it's selected. Right click, edit component. Okay, now there's a few different ways we can get rid of this top section. A really quick and easy way is use the push pull tool. So if I go P for push, I'm just going to come in a little bit closer. I can push that out until it disappears. But can you see what's happening with the other one? At the moment, these two items are linked. So I'm going to unlink them. So I'll press escape, and I'm going to select away from it. Select it again, so left click on it. Then I'm going to right click, make unique. There. Now again, I'm going to right click again, edit component, P for push, and I'm going to push that until you'll see it just sort of goes 12 millimeters and it says offset limited to 12. Left click again. Then this next section here, same again. Left click there. It's now the right size. Okay, again I'm just going to click away from it so it's not selected. Then I'm going to select it again. M for move. And again we're going to go from a known point to a known point. So if I go in close here and look at that corner there, I know that corner has to join up with that corner there. So just go back. I'll just zoom in so you guys can see. Left click, move across, there. Zoom back out again, there we go. Okay, there we go, nearly done. One last thing to do, and that's to put the base on. That's for this tutorial anyway. So again, I'm going to O for orbit, and I'm going to change my view so I can look at it from the bottom. R for rectangle, this corner, down to the opposite corner, P for push. The base is 3 millimeters thick, so I'm just going to move it down like this and then just type 3 and go enter. There we go. The final thing we want to do is turn that into a component. So this is probably an easy one to do the triple left click on. So 1, 2, 3, there we go. Right click, make component, base. Okay. So that'll do for this tutorial. I'm just going to change the view around so we can have a look at it. So the first thing you want to do now is you just want to save it, give it a name, call it phone safe. And put your surname here. And then at the moment, what we'll do is we're just going to go OK, and it'll save it into your Google Drive. In fact, here we go. So you can then choose where you want to save it. At some point, I'm going to get you to upload it to Google Classroom so I can see what you have done. The other thing you can do if you want to upload anything to Google Classroom is you can just take a screenshot of it and then upload the screenshot. Okay, because this is the first tutorial, what we will be doing, so I'm going to put it into that folder there. What we're still going to be doing here is we've got to do our lid, and we're going to put some nice textures on it so it looks real, like it's really made from wood. But this is the first tutorial just to get you started.